It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you today. And what's the
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, what's the topic today?
Today we decided to talk about very popular vitamin D.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, what are you interested in?
So first of all, I would like to know whether it's why it's so popular, whether it's in fruits and vegetables or in meat and some other fish and other products, and why it's so important and how much we can how much we can eat, you know.
All right. So, let's just do it step by step because
Yes.
I can't cover everything.
Too much,
at the
too
same
much.
time.
Okay, like
So
why is such an important
let's,
vitamin?
let's talk because vitamin D is actually not everybody considers as a vitamin. Some people think that it's like a hormone because there's so many functions it's involved in. So it has too many functions, and that's why it's very important. And as you know, everybody knows that vitamin D is important for the bones. Okay, so who doesn't have enough vitamin D, not getting enough calcium, and they might develop fractures, etc., etc. By the way, hip fractures are very dangerous. So vitamin D is not for fun. And when I was working in the hospital, I was called many times to clear patients for hip surgery, and they just fell down and developed hip fracture, and you can't even imagine how bad this condition is. And not always, but sometimes the solution is just taking up vitamin D and just make sure that bones are okay. And the another thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Are the patients in hospitals, are they taking vitamin D like in pills or in terms of food?
No, I've never seen any patient in the hospital who was given vitamin D.
At all?
At all.
Why?
Why? Because in the hospital usually we solve acute problems, and the vitamin D cannot solve acute problems. That's not for the acute disease.
Wow.
Yeah, not every vitamin. Supposedly vitamin B1, yes, we do use. And it's used for alcoholic, when we suspect alcoholic delirium or something like that. And in this case, a patient is getting like 100 milligrams IV as soon as he comes. But vitamin D is another animal. It's totally different.
I see all the time in hospitals that patients are given different vitamins. I never asked about vitamin D, I just saw.
Usually they give multivitamins, but
Yeah.
not that much. And importance is this: the vitamin D it's very important how much you're getting. How much, and the FDA recommendation is kind of questionable. The reason for that is because they recommend from 400 to 600 units a day. And,
It looks like it's very little.
well, let's give you another number. And if somebody is spending at least a few hours in the sun, supposedly go do sunlight,
On the beach.
do you know how many units of vitamin D he is producing in his body? About 50,000. So compare two numbers, 50,000 and 600 recommended by FDA. 50,000 that God gives us, and 600 that FDA gives us. So there is a huge difference, of course, okay?
Of course, everybody loves to be on the beach. All doctors say you have to swim more, you have to be on the beach, you have to relax, it's very good for your health. Of course, don't go crazy in terms of like too much sun. Don't burn yourself, but otherwise, like few hours on the sun, it's normal, it's okay, it's good.
No, it's not necessarily the good idea to get several hours because sometimes you can get burned.
Yeah, that's
of
what
course,
I'm saying,
depends
it's
on the
bad.
condition.
But at least some sun is good.
Yeah, some, but the caveat is here is this. So if somebody is doing sunbathing, the vitamin D is just made in the very top portion of our skin. And what happens is that this person, after the sunbathing, goes and takes a shower, especially with some soap, or starts to rubbing himself. That the superficial skin layer where the vitamin D is actually gone.
But I know myself, I know many other people, after the beach, after the salty and not so clean ocean water, people usually take a shower. Sometimes they take shower even on the beach if there is a shower there. Sometimes at home it's obvious. You don't go dirty after a beach or after...
No, I'm not saying that that shower is bad, but I'm saying that it's not necessary to use soap And,
do not use soap and
yes,
do not
rub
yourself
yourself,
too much.
because otherwise all the benefits are going to be gone.
Got
And
it.
this is extremely
Oh,
important. And,
every time I learn something.
and I usually don't recommend to my patients who is, of course, you can do it. I'm against soaps, and the reason for that is because naturally, the skin is acidic, okay, and the soap is actually base. So if you put this base on the skin, all the acidity is gone, and the acidity is extremely important for the to kill the bacteria.
So you're against soap in general?
Of course. And no, let me just make it a little bit more understandable. See, everybody is afraid of body odor, right? So, but the reason for that why people have it is because there is too much bacteria, wrong bacteria in the skin. So, what if we remove the acidity that protects us from this and change it to base and actually make it easy for the bad bacteria that produce odor to flourish? Do you think it's a good idea? Well, I don't think so.
So you're now like going the entire industry, soap and all of this body wash and everything.
Well,
Like so.
it's at least questionable. It's at least questionable. And in terms of vitamin D production, especially who is getting some.
What about shampoo?
That's the same thing. It's base. As soon as you put some base on your skin, you destroy the acidic protective layer on your skin. That's it. It's as simple as that. You know.
You're surprising.
Well, it's not surprising. It's like, if you put some you just neutralize. You just destroy the protection that is given us by God. That's as simple as that.
That's what we're doing all our lives.
Yeah, but I know that, but I personally don't use soaps for many years. No shampoos, no soaps, nothing. Because that's in terms of this, it's
Just water?
just water. And that's very important, and the reason for that is because it's not only soaps, but also deodorants, etc., especially for women. And as you know, they have a lot of breast cancer, and I'm just curious why they don't routinely test the tumor when they do the biopsy for the toxins. I don't think they're allowed to, but I think it would be a good idea, and it would be very interesting if they found deodorant in the tumor tissue.
Okay, but we changed the topic a little bit, but it's still very
In
surprising.
fact, it's not. And the reason for
Talk
that
about
is
the vitamin D.
yeah, vitamin D is a lot of people linked lack of vitamin D to increase the incidence of cancers. Okay, so that's the direct relationship with this.
So besides sun and besides going on the beach or outside, getting some sunlight and everything, any other ways to increase vitamin D in our body?
Not that much. Not that much. Not a lot of products have vitamin D.
What about fish oil?
Yeah, just let's go over. So basically, in order to have vitamin D, you need to eat something fatty. And the reason for that is because vitamin D is fat soluble. So you can't get it from the water soluble products. And that's why they fortify a lot of products in our country, like milk. A lot of products are fortified with vitamin D because in nature it's just very little. And these natural sources are mushrooms, it's fish, and that's liver, beef liver, and that's pretty much it. Not that much.
Beef liver, oil and milk?
No, milk is fortified.
Fortified.
Fortified. As per
Mushrooms, yes.
mushrooms, yeah, portobello mushrooms. But once again, portobello mushrooms is probably not that rich. But fish oil is a really good source of vitamin D. Do you remember when your mom gave you fish oil when you were a kid?
I did not like it.
Oh, I did.
You
As a matter of yes, I did. Yes, I did. I remember that bottle with the fluid, and my mom was giving me at least 1 tablespoon a day, and I liked it.
I did not.
Still remember
She gave
the
me
smell.
I did not like it at all.
Oh, I did. So this is very important, but once again, sunlight is probably the most reliable thing. Sunlight, because it's 50,000 units a day, approximately. 30.
Do you recommend your patients to have as much sunlight as possible. I mean, for vitamin D purposes.
Look, everything is good in moderation. And if somebody takes too much sunlight, he can end
Yeah, I
up,
understand.
where
You always preach moderation.
it's very important to make sure that it's reasonable, because somebody is not really doing something unreasonable. Of course, it's no good. Just what I am preaching is this: is do everything natural instead of going somebody say, why don't you go to your chores and just go to your garden or whatever it is, just do some gardening, some simple stuff. You will get it naturally instead of going and lying on the beach for 8 hours. I don't think it's good.
No, nobody's talking about 8
Yeah.
hours on the beach.
Yeah,
No.
When
But
I
a few
go-
hours, why not?
Well, when I go to the beach, I see a lot of people that come in the morning and leave at
Spend
night.
the whole day.
Yeah, spend the whole day, so probably it's not.
That's
But
too
if
much.
somebody is doing chores, is just walking around, behave naturally, I don't think he needs any guidance because it will be getting, he will get sunlight naturally. Okay, and this is moderation, and there is be reasonable is very important.
So it helps our bones, you're saying? Vitamin D bones.
No, it's not. It's not bones. It's just practically almost every system. Because once again, not everybody believes that vitamin D is just simple vitamin. A lot of people think that it works like hormone, or at least like prohormone. And probably the most research, the thing is that how it influences the immune system. And there are some studies show that lack of vitamin D is linked to higher incidence of cancers.
You mentioned fat, so maybe, what about like fat, what about butter, what about margarine? Do they have
Margarine.
anything with a vitamin
No, I
D?
don't think so. I don't think so. That's mostly fatty fish like salmon, like mackerel,
Salmon.
tuna, salmon. Okay, and that's important. But when somebody takes fish, I always caution those people that a lot of fish, especially tuna, it has a lot of mercury in it.
That's what you
So
said.
yeah, as you remember, we talked about that. So it's
Yes.
not a good idea. But if you
So-
decide to take fish oil, it has to be pharmaceutical grade. That's important, and make sure that it's just good and there's no mercury in it, because you can get
So
vitamin
you
D.
recommend to
and-
buy fish oil in pharmacies, that's what you're saying? Not in regular stores?
I'm not aware of pharmacies sell any fish oil per se, but what you can do is just at least to put your attention and make sure it's pharmaceutical grade. They usually put it, and the expensive should be expensive one, not the cheap one. And I personally do it differently. I just eat salmon, wild Alaskan salmon, which is probably the cleanest what we can get here in the United States. Stay away from tuna, because tuna is very well known to be to have too much mercury, and that's pretty much it. And go to the sun. Why do you need some kind of weird stuff? Just go and do some gardening, or just walk around the beach and enjoy
How
yourself.
about walking in the park, in the botanical garden?
Good. As soon as you are getting some sunlight, that's good. And I
So
personally
I'm
go
doing something
fishing.
right sometimes.
Yeah, I just go fishing and just get two benefits: sunlight and fish.
Fish. Depending where you're fishing, of course. Because if it's a dirty water sometimes, I do not want to fish in, with all due respect, I live near Shipshead Bay. When I see some people fishing in the bay, I don't think it's such a clean place to do fishing there.
Well, I don't know. I don't have any reliable information about how bad it is. Personally, I fish in an open ocean, so
Open ocean, yes.
I mean on the beach of the ocean. I don't
Yes.
go inside the ocean, but near on the beach and the open ocean. So
Open
that's-
ocean is a different story.
Yeah, probably it's not that good, but at least it's not that bad.
Correct.
Okay, so that is very important in terms of cancer. And by the way, there was a very interesting story that when somebody has a skin cancer, like melanoma, they say don't go to the skin to the sunlight.
Correct.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Correct.
And what happened was that they actually studied the people who disobeyed doctor's orders, and instead of hiding from the sun, Just actually they started getting sunlight.
And
And guess who had lower incident recurrence of melanoma? The guys who disobeyed doctor's orders.
so what are you preaching again? To
No, I'm
disobey
not saying
doctor's
that.
orders?
No, I'm not saying that. But this is a very interesting thing. Just the vitamin D is probably not that bad as you might think. I mean, in terms of official standpoint, there is no benefit of vitamin D in terms of cancer prevention. That's what they say.
I know that you will never preach smoking or drinking alcohol or going
No,
crazy
no,
in general.
No, but what I'm
But
saying.
you're saying that sometimes do not listen to doctors.
No, I didn't say that. I said that every
Yes, doctors do say don't go
everything
for a
should
lot of
be-
sun when you have
should
melanoma.
be-
That's true.
Yeah, but this is the fact, and it's very well known fact that autoimmune disorders are much. The incidence is much higher where there is less sunlight. Where there is less sunlight, it's very well known fact. A very well known fact. There is a problem with why there's not enough vitamin D. That's what they say. There's not enough vitamin D. That's why patient has autoimmune disease. At least there's some school of thoughts. You know.
Do you have any vitamin D in eggs?
Yes, that's my fault. I forgot to mention it's
Yeah?
egg yolks. Egg yolks.
Oh,
Egg yolks.
Oh,
Egg yolks.
at
So
least
that's a good idea. Yeah.
so
But
much.
in terms of vitamin D, you need to be very careful. And the reason for that is because vitamin D do not work alone. Do not work alone. And as you know, vitamin D brings calcium in and increases the calcium concentration in our body. And what happens is that as soon as calcium goes up, it has to be put in the right place. Let me give you an example. Supposedly you went to your daily job and got $100 as a compensation, right?
Okay.
And if you put it in your pocket, that's okay. So you can just put, or you're in your wallet. Okay, so it's okay because you're not going to lose it. But what if you just try to put it some kind of in a place that it can easily slip out? You know, so that's probably not the good idea because the earned money can go away.
Of
The same
course.
thing is here, but here it's even a worse situation because if you don't take care of your $100 bill you earn by doing hard work, you know, you just lose the money. But if you don't take care of the calcium, it's much more dangerous because instead of just losing it, you might actually get a very bad enemy, you know, very dangerous enemy in your calcium. Calcium may become your enemy. And this is why, because calcium instead of being...
One second, but if I eat and I know that it's inside me, I cannot put my hand inside and say, no, don't go there, go here.
As a
How can I
matter-
regulate?
as a
It's
matter of-
inside, that's all I ate, finish. What should I do?
As a matter of fact, you can. As a matter of fact, you can. And the reason for that is because...
How?
No, let me just give you one of the ways. One of the important regulators of how calcium behaves in our body is vitamin K.
K?
Especially vitamin K2. Yeah,
K2?
K2. Make sure that it's in.
Where can you find K2?
Makes sure that calcium is going to the right place. And who has enough vitamin D and enough calcium but they don't have enough K2, they run into trouble because calcium is deposited in the wrong place.
So now it's time to say how to get K2.
You just let me tell you how dangerous it is. It goes to the vessels, it's just closed vessels, can go to valves, go to aorta, and valves become because the valves become too narrow, creates aortic sclerosis, stenosis secondary to calcium deposition. That's what we see every day. And heart failure, patient goes to heart failure, but nobody actually links it to the wrong deposition of calcium, even though it's very well
So
known
it's
thing.
time to say how to get this K2 and to be
K2.
safe.
K2 is produced in our digestive system. Unfortunately, you can't get it, at least not to my knowledge, you can't get it enough from foods. You just need to make sure that your
Not plums, not
Listen,
fruits.
I'm not God, I don't know everything, but not to my knowledge. As per my knowledge, K2 is produced in our digestive system, and that's how we get it. And of course, if somebody has a healthy digestive system, not destroyed by antibiotics, probably he has enough vitamin B. But most of us who were treated as kids when with a lot of antibiotics, most likely our production of vitamin K2 is at least compromised. Okay, so in this case, we would like I always suggest my patients, don't take alone vitamin D, it's dangerous. You need to take vitamin D with K2. Because if you don't, you will pay a very high price for this.
But you just said that there is no K2 in the food?
That's why what we do, actually, we have a supplement. We combine, not we combine, but we use a combination of vitamin. Yeah, show it today.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's vitamin D with K2.
Ah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you can offer it to your patients here in the clinic?
Right.
It's called Sergey Kalitenko and vitamin D. You mean, why is your name here? Do you produce it? How do you?
No, it's just it's called private label, but we can just pick up whatever it's necessary. Okay.
It has both.
Yeah,
G and K2.
And K1, basically, this is K1. Actually, it's sometimes it's even better, but just that's very good combination vitamin K2, K1. But you need to have some K's in it. And that's what we have.
You give it only to sick patients or even to healthy?
No, yeah, I mean, so just once again, you can't get vitamin D without K group. Okay, so
unless you take this one.
Yeah, unless you take this one. Is because either you have a healthy digestive system that produces K group, or you need to supplement it.
So how it's like basically created like taking two vitamins, making one pill. That's how it's created.
Yeah, and that is very important. And let me give you another suggestion.
I'm taking it.
You are more than welcome. Okay, make sure that when you just talk on the radio,
But
make sure that you take it.
Yeah, but healthy person also can take it. Or only person who is sick.
I am taking it, not necessarily
okay.
sick.
Okay.
That's vitamins are not actually designed to treat acute sickness. No, I mean not
It's
everybody.
a 1 pill a day. How does it work?
This particular, because some vitamins are designed to treat the acute disease, but not this one. Okay, so it's very important, and you need to take. I personally take it with vitamin K group, K1, K2, whatever I have, but it needs to be taken with K group. Okay, and how much I'm taking it? Listen, it is very tricky thing, because it can be determined by the number. I can't look at you and tell that you need 5,000, you need 2,000 units or 1,000. It needs to be checked by levels.
But in this case, it's 1 pill a day. How does it work?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't tell it. What you need to do, you need to start from 1 pill a day and then check the levels. If levels are low,
Levels of what?
of vitamin D, then you need to increase it until you achieve the optimum level. And optimum level is dependent on your goal. Supposedly I have a cancer patient, the target is about 100.
Oh,
No, the level, not the pills.
I understand.
Okay, yeah, the pills. But I personally have from 60 to 70. I think it's pretty good enough for now. And I always have this level, so I just try to keep it in this area. In this range, sometimes I have 80. But from 60 to 80, the patient who doesn't have cancer, I think it's a pretty good idea. Well, once again, you can't take it alone because it's just dangerous. You will get more harm than good by taking vitamin D without K group vitamins.
Okay, I understand. Okay, you explained how important vitamin D. You explained that it should be together with K2.
K group, I would say
group,
K1,
which
K2,
which means you have to have good digestive system, basically.
If you have, you don't need it. But who has it in our here? I don't think that many people.
I don't complain.
Did you check your vitamin K levels?
I don't know K. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. But I don't have problem.
I'm not
with
asking
this.
you. It's just rhetoric questions. I'm not asking you about your levels. Was not my intention. I apologize. But just in general, people they don't do that. They don't check their vitamin D levels unless they are concerned with that.
Yes, some kind of problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, it is very important. But vitamin K too. Not everybody has it.
So healthy diet, a lot of sun, some physical exercises usually are the best.
No, I think, but
The
you,
best,
you, need to check,
recipes.
you need to check the levels. You don't know, and it is extremely important.
How by
because-
blood test?
Yeah, blood test. Blood test is very important. The reason for that is because a lot of other reasons can prevent vitamin D from go up and achieve the level. For example, lead interferes with vitamin D metabolism. Who has vitamin D, who has a lot of lead or just a little bit, can interfere with vitamin D metabolism, and we have it. We see those patients. No matter how much I give vitamin D, levels are not going up, and we check the levels. Lead burden, and we find that it's very, very, very high on lead.
Doctor, thank you very much for your lecture. I would say I learned a
Yeah.
lot today. I hope you too. And like this is like magical bottle, Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you,
I appreciate
and see you next time.